today I've been asked to talk about winding bobbins, as it's something that everyone has to do right from being a beginner. Now it depends on whether you're winding from a reel like this or whether you're winding from a ball of thread like this. But either way, you don't want to be pulling them off so they're spiralling around the ball. You want to be pulling it off so that the ball or reel rotates. So I put a divider pin onto the pillow just to hold it in, and that sits on it, or a longer divider pin and sits the reel on, so that you can pull the thread off and the ball or reel rotates. Now the reason for this is if you pull it off in a spiral fashion, it will put extra twists on the ball, on the thread, or it may even take the twists off depending which way the thread is twisted. Now I was always taught to wind holding the bobbin in your left hand, put the thread on top and just hold it with your first finger, and then wind away from yourself. Once you've caught the tail end of it, which doesn't take a lot, you then turn it into your hand and rotate it between your fingers and thumb. And when you look at the end, it wants to be going in a clockwise direction around the bobbin. So this means if you're winding it in your right hand, you're winding it in the opposite way. But if you start it in your left hand, you get it going the right way. And again, you can look at the end and see that it is actually winding in a clockwise direction. Wind as much on the bobbin going up and down the neck as you need, depending on the piece of lace. Then put your first finger out, over the finger, in front of the bobbin, all the way around the head, finger on the end, and slip the loop over. And if you're doing it in the opposite hand, it is the same way. Finger out, over the finger, but this time it's behind the bobbin, and finger over that way. I'm not very good at doing it in this hand because it's the opposite way to me, and I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it in my left hand, so it's a little bit alien. The hitch wants to go on in the opposite direction to the thread travelling around the bobbin. And generally for East Midlands laces, you would wind them in pairs, so you would then hold the reel and pull off the length you want to wind on the second bobbin before cutting it and winding the second one. I'll show you on the yellow thread. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it more easily. Hold the finger on the end, wind it away from yourself until you catch the end, and then turn it. And by doing this, again, it preserves the twists that are already on the thread and prevents you actually putting more on. If you continue to wind it overhand like that, it will put extra twists on or take them off, depending whether it's an S or a Z twist thread. And we don't want to change the thread. You'll get a lot of kinks in it, which will lead to knots, or you will get the thread breaking when you're working with it, which again is not good. Over the finger, in front of the bobbin, all the way around and over the top. That is one of the ways to do it. There are many ways. Now if you find the bobbin or the thread is quite thick like on this one, and it's not holding on the head of the bobbin, you can drop that hitch down onto the neck. So when you put the hitch on, drop it onto the neck of the bobbin, and then it's held with the thread. The only disadvantage with this, if it's a very fine thread or if you've got a lot of thread on, it can pull into the wraps that you've got on the neck and potentially get stuck, and then you're trying to get a needle or a pin under it to pull it up to loosen it. The other thing, once you've wound your bobbins and you've got it on the pillow to lengthen it, you should just be able to pull it towards you, and as I say, this is holding it too tightly, so let's put it back on the head so you can see it. So this is on the pillow. You wanting to lengthen that thread, hold it at right angles to the thread and roll it, and that lengthens the thread. To shorten it, you hold it in your opposite hand, you pull the loop up towards you and roll it back up. And that's the two ways of lengthening and shortening the threads while it's actually on the pillow and working. I hope you found that helpful. Drop me a message if you want to see anything else of basic techniques like this, anything you want to see. I'll film them and drop them on the YouTube channel in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching, hope it's been helpful.